Howdy, everybody. Trying to touch base and let you know I'm still here. Just did a little short video this morning. Hopefully it picks up traction. But I actually got on here to do a story time. As soon as I put the hat on, there went the story. I totally forgot what I was going to tell you. Apparently it was going to be a pretty good one. It was going to be like, ooh, it's going to be a good one. Anyway, so now I got the hats on. I'm going to tell you a different story. Story of reality, embarrassment, and hopefully redemption. And that is, sometimes we get busy in our lives and we forget to touch base. I can't even talk. It's how a Yankee talks when he gets flustered. All right. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, you lose touch with people. You know, it's not always intentional. It's just things happen, especially in the YouTube world. We're all over the country, all over the world, and it just happens. You know, it's just like, unfortunately, like in my situation, like a change of schedule could totally remove you, so to speak, from the eyes of good YouTube channels that live normal lives and have normal schedules, and they produce content, or they have podcasts in the evenings and stuff like that, or on weekends when you're working. In this case, me. So I feel really bad that like I used to be really loyal about making comments and participating live and trying to be a good supporter of my friends. Now, like, it's like a two-way street. I understand that. I realize that. But when I get off work, I get off work usually when I get situated, when I get home, wherever that may be, each night. I watch YouTube for about hour to hour and a half. Sometimes, if it's an off day, 2 hours. And I try and cram in as much content as possible that I can watch. And it's just, with the stress in my life, to sit down and watch a 1 hour podcast, sometimes it's very difficult. I feel like I'm missing something. And it's not a knock to my friends that do podcasts or anything like that. It's just like, I just feel like my passion so much is nature and the outdoors. If I could watch 3 camping videos from 3 different channels, like most of the time it's new channels, see what they do, where they go, how they do it, it gives me ideas, and it makes me, I feel like it's pertinent to my life survival at this particular time. But I also realized today, like, man, it's like a two-way street, which is understandable. A lot of my good friends used to comment on a lot of my videos. They no longer comment, probably because I no longer comment on their videos. Or, it could be unintentional, or just talk to a good friend on the phone. It could be the algorithm just not showing, which is, it can happen. It's weird because, like, recently I thought about a couple different, like, man, I haven't seen that person in forever, and stuff like that. So, but today's story basically is about a really good dude that went through a really tough time, still holding his head on his shoulders upright, and has a positive outlook on life. And I appreciate my friend Josh from at Sherman Farms. A really good dude. We talked for about 30 minutes. He was trying to sell his watermelons. It's so funny. I kid you not. I know I've joked about this in the past, and I even did a short video about being chased out of a grocery store because I slapped some melons, slapped a couple little kids, slapped the manager just to get away with a fresh watermelon. But in all seriousness, I'm on the phone with Josh, and he's talking, his wife's talking, and I hear some old timer slapping a watermelon. I'm like, oh Lordy, we got the real deal here. But Josh ought to, instead of doing kissing booth, he ought to charge like 50 cents a slap. You know, this is the base price, $6, and then 50 cents per slap after that, and that's what you pay. Pay here, pay now. Anyway, guys, get a chance. Josh Sherman from Sherman's Family Farm. He lost everything in the devastating tornadoes in Oklahoma. He's trying to rebound his life. Unintentionally, I lost, communication with him. I almost said fellowship, whatever you want to call it, my own sniglets that I make up as I talk and feel embarrassed, but I did touch base with one good friend, Josh Sherman. So I encourage you all to check in on Josh because, he had a really good entourage of supporters right after the natural disaster. A lot of people did a lot of good things. So I encourage you, pick up the phone, call Josh, check on Josh, send Josh an email. He's not out of the woods. I mean, he's still kind of like up against the creek and in the woods and all that stuff, figuratively, but he's still trying to get his hustle on. One day, if I'm still vertical, I'm going to help that man somehow, some way. It's already been predestined in my own mentality. That is one dude on the radar. I'm going to help out. Hopefully I get to that finish line and I can do that and execute some plans. He and I talked about it. I don't know what, I can't do much now other than encourage people to check in on your friends. Josh Sherman is a good friend. Go check in on Josh. He's an Okie. I don't know where Muskogee is, but he's probably near Muskogee. You know what I'm saying? Check on Josh. Be like Josh. # be like Josh.